Do a summation of the game pretty quickly here because ultimately it comes down to a couple of things, and we don't need to go period by period, I don't think. First period, Boston outplays the Leafs. End of story. They did outplay the Leafs. I think they were a better team. They came out, and the Leafs were able to hold the fort. Sammy played good goaltending. Right?
He was their MVP of period one.
Second period, Leafs come out, and they are strong the entire period.
Oh, yeah.
All the scoring chances that you could want. But here's the thing with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Man, the expected goals are great, but they never convert. They do not convert. They're bad at converting. And we've seen that based on the tweet that Jesse talked about a few minutes ago.
Give Swayman his flowers.
He was great.
That save on Jake McCabe was unreal.
Noah Gregor breakaway.
Connor Dewar.
Sorry, Connor Dewar breakaway. Nyes getting a hold down on the breakaway there.
Okay, so you guys probably saw the replay more than I did doing the stream. Have I lost my mind, or did the ref not point to center ice for a penalty shot?
The ref did point to center ice for a penalty shot, is what I saw. I saw the same thing. I yelled to my wife. I was like, "Hey, they just got a penalty shot."
Yeah, but one guy can make a decision, I guess, and then they converge and they decide on something. So,
and he was the guy that saw it too, which is what's crazy.
It's the same thing with the stick. Whatever violation happened earlier on the hands. I think it was the one on Matthew Nyes where the guy who was in the corner said it was good, but then the referee at the other end of the ice said it wasn't good and it was a penalty.
I'm not sure.
And Elliot Friedman even said in the second intermission.
Oh, Coyle.
Said in the second intermission, the Leafs are probably owed a call here. They never got it.
No.
And hey, listen, we've gone the whole series without
first game, Elliot.
Yeah.
Come on.
We've gone the whole series without bitching about the refs. I thought the linesmen, there was a couple icings last night where I was like, guys, like that is objectively not an icing. They were no. I'm going to say it. You can disagree with it. The linesmen had the game from hell last night. They were terrible.
Here's where I'm gonna. The Leafs were dumping it and not chasing all series long, and there were a number of times where I'm like, they didn't gain center, but the refs gave them the little bit of leeway.
Fuck that. Don't care.
It's also,
that's a different game. That's not last night.
Yeah.
And they were terrible last night.
We can't sit here and complain about the refereeing being any reason they lost.
Exactly.
I'm just
and you know what? Here's the thing. If the refs, you could argue, did them a favor because they were so bad on the power play that 5-on-5, the Leafs, nobody wants the Leafs to be on the power play.
What a waste of time. Fucking waste of time.
I was so thrilled. So we'll get to that. We're not going to talk about it now.
Great period two.
Great period two. Great period three. 9 minutes into period three specifically, Nylander and Matthews hook up for a goal. And it's a
Bertuzzi.
Bertuzzi did definitely should have had a penalty on that.
Oh, baby. If that was how the game... Can you imagine?
If that's how the game ended, it would have been... Boston fans would have been right to be.
That's what I'm saying. We can't sit and complain about any kind of calls in this game because it went both sides.
It did. It did.
That would have been delicious. I would have got 11 years worth of good call. Out of the way. Stop crying. Mad.
But as
clown emoji.
But as is so common with the Leafs, 90 seconds later, literally 82 seconds later, Hampus Lindholm scores.
They're so bad.
And it's the Leafs' fourth line that's out there. And by the way, I thought the Leafs' fourth line had been good. Justin Brazeau and James Van Riemsdyk are the assists. They are the Boston fourth line.
Dude, they were great in Game 7.
They were fantastic.
They were great.
And so people are giving Keefe shit for putting out the fourth line. And I get it.
It was Boston's fourth line.
But it was Boston's fourth line. That's the one that scored. And you know what? The Leafs, as the series built, like we talked about Matthew Nyes' game building throughout the series, Justin Brazeau's game built throughout the series. He was spectacular last night. He was using body position. He's got touch around the net. That guy should have been a Leaf. And we let him go for whatever reason.
Dude, he dangled the shit out of Morgan Ryan.
But more important,
oh my God.
More importantly here, guys, it's the Leafs do this. They score, and it doesn't matter what line you throw out there. There's just this lack of focus. When you score a goal in the NHL, you get 30 seconds to feel good about it, and then you got to go back to playing hockey. And the Leafs have never in this era, never understood that. Never. This has been a problem for 8 years.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020, and this would have been a psychotic decision at the time. But You know what I almost wish the Leafs had done? They score the goal, timeout. I'm not kidding. Because
would have been better than what they did.
You're asking for something that would never
happen.
Yeah.
But let me tell you why. Bruins fans have been flooding my DMs with not nice things. And I know that's not most of you Bruins fans. It's just a bunch of people who belong on a watch list. But the reason I think is, did I get under their skin?
Mm-hmm.
I got under their skin with the stuff that I said after Game 5. Is this what the Boston Bruins do now? Is this what Boston does now? And they lose Game 5, and you felt it. They lose Game 6, and you felt it. They change up their Game 7 morning schedule. You feel it. They were rattled, and they played a good game, and the Leafs got the lead. All the energy is sucked out of that building and sucked out of the bench. All of it. The moment Hampus Lindholm scored that goal, they're winning the game. They're winning the game. You saw it in their faces. You saw it in the whole building. You saw it everywhere. They were winning the game.
They had to bring out Bergeron pregame to try and get them all pumped up.
And it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. It wasn't enough. There was enough doubt in that building last night that the Leafs should have been able to pull off a win. And when they had the Bruins in the palm of their hand, they let them go.
The goal was not a great read from Sammy.
It's a fucking horrible goal.
And it is it's the reason why Sammy will not be back next year.
You can look at it and be like, it was the only goal he allowed, and he was so good up to that point. This is every game. He was good. He was bad. He should have had that one. But he made that one. It's every game. Enough. What a stressful way to live. Having this guy as your goalie. Whether his numbers look good or bad. Stressful. I don't need this in my life. Friggin' the Leafs should, their helmet sponsor should be Sage. I'm sick of this guy. That's it. That's enough. Thank you for your service. Thank you for Game 6 versus Tampa. Get out.
On that goal, there was a lot of chaos in front right before they scored. The puck goes off the top of the net. It bounces around. And in that moment, you see Sammy swimming around. And that's what happens with Ilya Samsonov. That's why you can't trust him to be your starting goaltender moving forward.
He needs tighter, lighter equipment. It looks like it doesn't fit.
In these instances where there's chaos in front of the net and Boston's getting a whole bunch of chances, he loses himself in the moment, and then there's a weak shot, and he's too deep in his net because he's been chaotic for the few seconds before that, and an easy shot goes in. And
you got to mitten string his stick to his blocker.
And
it's unbelievable.
Despite playing a really good game and his play not being the reason they lost, you can't go forward with this goalie because you can't trust him in moments where the pressure is really high.
And that goal, if we're going to say anything and people are like, well, you can't blame Sammy, I can actually blame him for that goal. It went through him.
The goal shouldn't have gone in.
It should not have gone in.
Shouldn't have gone
in. And maybe they score another goal later in the period or something like that, if that ever happened, and he's out. They caught him out of position. It was a better thing, whatever. It's a 2-0, whatever it was. The Toronto Maple Leafs goaltender missed a save that he should have saved. End of story.
And if it hits off of his shoulder too, like when he makes the save, it goes right off the side of his number there. But he's so deep in the net.
Look how deep he is.
It just goes. And so if you watch it
put that on the.
I can show you this angle first because I want to show you where the shot comes from and how he moves back into his net as the shot is coming. So,
by the way, how does Lindholm have this much space?
Dude, look at that.
It was a fantastic
I got to fire the entire coaching staff.
A fantastic play by Lindholm to hop up in the play as there's a whole bunch of chaos behind the net. Great on him to do that. But Sammy comes out to stop the shot, and as Lindholm is firing up the puck, he actually moves back in towards his net. You'll see he moves back in.
Yeah, he went. He's like, I'm too deep. I got to go out. I got to come back in.
Yes.
I got to go down.
And that's what I'm speaking to of the chaotic nature of Ilya Samsonov. When there's a high pressure moment, he seems to lose his positioning and let in an easy goal.
And Jesse, The Leafs don't have Lindholm because they're collapsed so far back. You're not actually doing anything. Trent Frederick can tip this in, and if there's a rebound, Brazo's right there. What are you doing?
Nobody has.
They're going to kill you 3 different ways here.
Before that shot, they're all trying to fight for the puck behind the net, so you have the guys kind
Who's
of
high, though? Who's Gregor? Why is Gregor not high? Why is he not high covering off defense?
Why am I not high right now?
You got to gap up on these guys. This is ridiculous.
And this is the shot from this angle.
Like, was he screened? Like, is Riley in his way?
No, it's pretty clean.
Oh,
like,
you know what?
there's. I should say there are.
Oh my God!
There are 2 guys in front.
Also, Jesse, I'll say this: why is he not standing?
Yeah, well, he was, as you can see when I showed you this angle. He's up. Oh, sorry. He's up, and then he goes back down once the shot's taken. See, he's up.
Look how small
and then
he is.
He comes back down, and this is the
small he is.
result. There, and it just goes right off of his shoulder there.
It's terrible. It's a terrible goal.
It's not great.
It's a terrible goal.
It's not great.
Oh,
it's a terrible goal.
Yeah,
and
look how much net. Oh my God!
It bounces off the 35 and just goes right in.
now I'll give the team credit. Yeah, because he's not against the posts. Like what? That's goaltender 101, man. That's not hard. Oh, goaltending's such a hard position to figure out. Okay, that ain't hard to watch. Sorry, that is hard to watch. That ain't hard to figure out. And let me say this: the Leafs, to their credit, fought on.
Dude, do you understand? It's not even, like, based on where the puck hits on Sammy's numbers, it's not even that great of a shot.
No, of course.
No. It was
Like,
a weak
just a poor
little. He's just
position.
trying to get it onto an area that might be open in the net.
It's an okay shot at best.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you see a guy rip it off the bar and you're like, well, damn.
This wasn't that.
You friggin' cost him.
And I think, like, when I look at Ilya Samsonov's goaltending, I don't think it's the reason they lost the entire game. I don't think it's the reason they lost the entire series. I think it's more of that is the offense. You know, if you can't score goals, you can't win at the end of the day. But it's a group effort, and this is a part of the reason. I liken it to the Blue Jays losing last season when they pulled Barrios in when he was pitching perfectly fine. It's like, okay, the entire team, he was pitching great, and they would have allowed like 1 run. But if the team can't score 2 runs, you can't win the game.
Jesse,
so he messed up here, Samsonov, but the team also needs to bail him out at some point and score some goals.
Despite playing 7 games, the Leafs had an NHL low 12 goals in the first round. Also, the goalie they started in this series went 1-3. How the hell did this series go 7? This happens so often when the Leafs play the Bruins. Like when it's so tight, and then when it's all said and done, you look at the whole picture and you go, how did this go 7? How did this should have never gone 7. Like,
no,
they can't score, and also they didn't get saves. And when they did get saves, they won.
Yeah, credit to Joseph Wall for standing on his head for a couple games, and then if we want to just mention that Joseph Wall's injury, if you didn't know, it occurred on the final play of Game 6 where the Boston Bruins scored on that
didn't matter
on that cross crease play. That is where he got injured, and he woke up on that would have been Friday, and he's like, I'm not feeling great. And then when he woke up on Saturday, he was feeling even worse and couldn't go. What a shame.
Go back right now and watch the little blueprint clip that the Leafs put on social after Game 6. They give him the game puck. Matthew Nyes goes, this one goes to the real brick. Gives it to Wall, and Wall goes, let's get it done in Boston. And he says it in this way where I'm like, oh my God, this kid is so cold. I love this kid. And now I watch it in an entirely different light. I think he knew in that moment he at very least might not play.
Okay, so let's talk about this last goal. So to fast forward through the third period, William Nylander almost gets a goal just off of a bounce off of one of the Boston Bruins against Jeremy Swayman with like a second to go.
That would have been the coolest thing ever.
I forgot.
That moment would have been the greatest moment in Toronto Maple Leafs history. Forget all the Stanley Cups. It would have been awesome.
You know, they wouldn't. Yeah, it would have been great.
It was close. Watch it back. It's closer than you think.
And Swayman with a big save.
It's a great save.
Yeah. No, he saved their franchise by making that save.
I also kind of thought after the third period that there was time remaining on the clock, and I was surprised the Leafs didn't challenge that. There was time on the clock when Swayman covered it, and then
it was like 0.6, and they just kind of like, because you can delay the covering of the puck. You can say, oh, he's gonna play it maybe, so then you run out the 0.6. You know, it's whatever.
I don't know. I think you fight for inches, and you say, guys, put time back on the clock.
Pull Sammy.
Pull Sammy. Yeah, get the 6th guy out there. So let's fast forward to Jesse. I just sent this over, but I think, you know what, Jesse, let's use your tweet on it. All right, sorry, hold on. I have the overview of the whole goal, and then we want your tweet on as the Marner part of it. So in overtime, about 2.5 minutes in,
I have the goal highlights, so we'll just
give me the goal highlights.
Yeah, we'll just run it from that.
So let's have a look here.
The Leafs play it poorly. Hot damn, what a goal by the Bruins.
Oh,
is there a
unreal goal?
Do you want the overhead one? Do you want the back one? Is there an angle you want?
Whatever you think looks good. I trust you.
All right.
We all saw it a bazillion times, so we don't have to spend too much time going through it. But I think there is, your tweet on it, Jesse.
Mitch Marner getting beat.
Yeah, that part we'll get to.
Yeah. So I like this angle because you can really see the play develop. It's one of my favorite angles. Like when you're going to a live hockey game, I like watching from a bit of above and not like down below because you can see plays unfold. It's a beautiful set play by the Bruins.
Is Marner the guy at the bench on the ice, or is he the guy about to hop on?
Top line, blue line.
So
top right, blue line.
That's him right here.
That's Mitch.
Okay. Yeah, and this is so Pasta. He knows the play that's coming. He's doing his wheel around to gain speed through the zone. He's coming up right through the neutral zone, and he just blows by everybody.
And Mitch is puck watching. He's not watching his guy.
Yeah.
So Lindholm, deep,
and the puck's
Pasta
gone.
beats him, and Mitch can't catch him there. And
No,
neither
it's
can Morgan.
done. So you in this angle, you really see the defenseman. Everybody's here collapsing on the puck. Mitch isn't watching the guy behind him. He's looking at the puck. Pasta's still wheeling down the ice, and right there, the pass is thrown off the boards. It's a perfect bounce. You can see the puck coming up there. It's thrown right there. It's coming back up, and Pasta's timing it. And there's a lot of argument I see being made that Ilya Samsonov in this moment, this was the particular screenshot I saw where he's closest to the puck. Mm-hmm. If he trusts himself to just take his stick, poke it out, it's not a play that Pasta can make.
Jerry D was kind of making that point, and someone was also saying, like, if you're Riley, take the penalty. Like,
yep. If you're Riley too, you are in a position to make this here.
Just throw your stick.
It's a horrendous way to lose. It's a beautiful play by the Bruins, but a lot of standing watching around.
I want to say that Kelly Rudy was right after the game when he said, I cannot believe Samsonov did not come out and play that.
Yeah.
And he is absolutely right. There are two people. I saw one guy on Twitter today trying to say that Nylander was to blame for this somehow because he stopped skating. He's like, oh, great back check. I'm like, no, his job's to stay high.
He's on Zaka.
No, Nylander
is on Zaka, and that's what he needs to be doing.
His body language might not be something you like, but that's just kind of how he stands around on the ice. He's in perfect position.
Yes.
He's F2. He's in perfect position there covering the middle of the ice.
I'd like his knees to be bent a little bit. But, but
Babushkin knows what he's doing. Tavares knows what he's doing.
Riley.
Everyone else. I mean, they just didn't know what was coming, and it happened so fast.
But here's the thing, Steve. If you play smart defense as a habit.
No, I know.
This doesn't happen.
No, and they don't have it as a habit.
They don't. And so Jesse, let's ISO on Mitch.
Yeah,
and again, it's become a bit of a meme where it's like Mitch, but there's a reason for that. And it's because, and there's a few things I want to talk about with Mitch in this series that I have asked since Montreal, which is this player a playoff player? And most of it from people comes down to scoring, and rightfully so. That's what he's known for. But let's have a look at this play.
So the camera ISO it's funny because the camera ISO where you identify Mitch and you see that Pasta blew by him is the Pasta ISO. So you follow the Pasta ISO cam and you see that in his getting the puck off of the boards in this terrific set play, he goes right by the back of Mitch Marner. And so as you saw in the overhead, he does his little wheel through the ice. And then as he's coming through, Mitch Marner's right in front of him and he ducks on by. And
he's also
gone.
just getting on the ice. Like, I'm not trying to let the Leafs off the hook here. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is highlight how perfect of a play. Like,
yes.
The Bruins just executed. executed real well.
And you know
But
why
Mitch
they
is-
executed?
You're right. He's puck watching.
You know why they executed well? Because the Leafs do not, as Keefe said, the game plan is to let the Leafs beat themselves. And this stuff is the stuff that drives me crazy, because I can tell you that anybody else, any coach would be like, hold him up. It's Pasternak.
He didn't see him. He didn't know
He didn't
this
even
was
look.
happening.
But that's
no
even
point.
worse, Jesse.
At no point did Mitch, like right here, he should maybe know that Pasta's coming back around him, because he's looking at the puck coming this way and Pasta's going around the back. But at no point did he identify that this was taking place. It's a real shame.
Like, by the time Pasta hits his stride, Marner
It's
is like
done.
just getting his stick set in his hand.
At this point, at halfway through the ice, it's over. Like, the game is kind of over in this instance if that puck bounces perfectly off the boards, which it did.